Listen up, you YINZs. Man, I'm back with y'all with another fireside chat. Keeping it 100. Big G with the KnoItAllz podcast crew. We're going to talk a little bit at noonday. I've been saying it all along. I'm telling you, they ain't going to trade. They ain't going to do nothing. But I will say this, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Playtime is over with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Playtime is over with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I told you they wasn't going to do it, but we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. First of all, let me say what's cracking all the people in the live chat. Craig Withrow, I'm going to pull up some of your comments in a minute. Dwayne, FanDuel, Zaya, Felicia, girl, what's cracking lacking, man? Good to see all you guys early and often with the Keeping It 100 show this afternoon, y'all. Y'all, listen, we're going to get into a barrage of stuff today concerning the Pittsburgh Steelers, the state of the Steelers, the historical standpoint for the Steelers, where we're going, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. We got a lot going on. I'm going to start the show off by saying this. It's T-minus 4 hours and counting. Do not look for the Steelers, and this is going to lead me to what I've been saying all along. We traditionally do not make big-time trades at the trade deadline. We're not going to do it today, y'all. Don't get your hopes up. And that leads me to the first comment that I saw Craig put up there. Craig said, what the hell, Jacoby Myers to the Jags for a 4th and a 6th? The Steelers wouldn't do that? I'm sorry, but that's messed up. Yeah, Craig, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Craig said, if they don't do anything, I'm going to be moving some furniture around. Well, Craig, get ready. Because playtime is over with, Craig. Craig time is over with, man. Peter, what's up, man? Still a league. Y'all need to keep your expectations low. Omar ain't getting no wide receiver. I agree. They're not doing that, bro. They're not doing it. Because traditionally, and I think this is what we're going to get into for the context of the conversation today, what the Steelers are, what they do, how they do it, how they operate, how they do their business. We're going to talk about all of it today. And this has been going on, and I want to be perfectly clear. This has been going on from a generational standpoint. This ain't just Andy Waddle, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin. This has been going on with Kevin Colbert and then Bill Cowher and Chuck Noll and all the way back. This is how the Steelers operate, man. Hey, I want to say again, what's up to the live chat. Thank all y'all for joining me. Pete McCray, man, what's up? Corey Brown, Felicia, Reginald Rivers, Pickens, you big dummy, Steeler Dog 88. Yeah. What Felicia said, man, the Rat Bears better not get Minkah Fitzpatrick. I don't think they're going to get him. Matter of fact, I think Baltimore is done doing what they're doing. I think Baltimore traded and they got Graham to come out of retirement. They traded for a defensive end player. I think they're about done too. We're just not going to see these things maturate the way we want to see them. Jay Steve, what's cracking, man? So let's talk about it from a traditional standpoint. Like I've said already, the Steelers don't make moves at draft day. On trade day. They just don't. They traditionally don't do it. The reason why is because we've built an establishment that tries to build up players based on what we start at the beginning of the season with training camp. Now, for all you guys that didn't know, Van Der Scouting has officially assigned with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's on the roster. Is he active on the 53-man roster yet? Nah, I don't know. But he is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler. He signed on the dotted line. So if you guys that was looking for wide receiver help, that's probably going to be the extent that you're going to get from wide receiver help. Because once again, traditionally, the Steelers don't do it. Pete, what'd you say, man? I feel it's a disservice has been done if a wide receiver 2 is not acquired. Pete, I feel you, bro, but they're not going to. And I've heard ultimate arguments over the last 24 to 48 hours. They were unable to stretch the field. You see the need for a wide receiver 2 and this, that, and this. I saw them arguments. But to be honest, bro, I sat back and I watched the film. I watched it actually twice. The game plan wasn't strategically set up for the Pittsburgh Steelers to attack the Indianapolis Colts vertically. Aaron Rodgers dinked and dunked, and he didn't audible out of plays. The game plan was very vanilla. It was very vanilla. They dinked and dunked the whole way. It featured the tight end, right? And that's where we're at concerning Arthur Smith and his offense. It's going to always feature the tight end. Now, am I being honest about it? Do I feel that as far as the pecking order, that Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith have switched? Yeah. Muth done proved that he's reliable. Jonnu Smith continues to drop passes. So, yeah, I feel some kind of way about it. But at the end of the day, going back to what I'm saying, this is what the Steelers do. The Steelers don't trade for players, right? Even if we think and feel as a fan base that they should. Even if we think and feel from a fan base that they should trade for players, they just don't do that. We saw them make the move from a defensive standpoint because they needed a safety, because we don't know what's going on with Deshaun Elliott. So they went and got Duggar. And I'm just going to ask YINZ, how do you feel about Patrick with Ramsey and Digger playing safeties? Because they look real good. They were in base. Listen, let me tell you something about that defense. There were some adjustments that was made too. And it's sort of old school and went back to our tradition as Pittsburgh Steelers. They were in base cover 2 a lot. They were in base regular old plain cover 2. The issue what they did is they had 3 middle linebackers in the game at the same time. They had Peyton Wilson, they had Patrick Queen, and they had Malik Harrison all in the game at the same time. And they stood up both their edges. So we basically had 5 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, and 4 defensive backs. Oh, that sort of looks like the old school Blitzburg. You don't know who's coming, when they're coming. It might look like a 4-3 from the beginning, but then it switches to a 3-4. You don't know who's coming, who's dropping, who's doing this and that, i.e. why you got all the turnovers that you got against Daniel Jones. He was out there big time confused, right? Craig, listen, I love Ramsey and Duggar combo. You need to leave it right there. I feel that Ramsey, yeah, he's a better safety, bro. Tate Boy Fresh said, they feature tight ends because there's no explosiveness to be had with the wide receiver 2. They didn't trade for Jalen, Jonnu, Duggar, DK. They need a wide receiver 2 if you want to complete in January. That's what some Steelers fans need or say. They're not going to do it. I'm telling you, they believe that they can get that explosiveness out of Calvin Austin III and out of Roman Wilson. And Van Der Scouting once he gets acclimated with the offense. You might not like it, but I'm telling you, that's what the way that the Steelers operate. That's the way they operate. They're not going to, from a traditionalistic standpoint, trade to get a big-time player to come in there. If they do, they'll shock me. And we got about 4 hours. We got less than 4 hours before they do it, before it's over with and they can't. So I don't see this happening, okay? Now, going back to what I'm saying from a traditionalistic standpoint for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The Steelers have played great defense for years. This is past the Tomlin era. This goes back to the Cowher era and all the way back to the Chuck Noll era. Different styles of defense, but they play great defense. And they play ball control football. What we haven't seen out of the Steelers this year, and except for maybe this game, we saw great defense with ball control offense, which leads to the traditionalistic way that the Pittsburgh Steelers play football. Great defense with ball control offense, featuring players that can continually move the chains. That's what we saw. It was vanilla as all get up. It was designed to be vanilla, but that's the way we play as the Steelers, right? Now, the issue, and I feel the YINZs with this. I feel them with this because some folks are like, well, 1 week we look like an explosive offense. The next week we don't. The next week our defense is trash. The 1 week the defense looks great. So we're up and down, and so we don't know how we necessarily feel concerning the Steelers. But what I'm trying to tell you from a historical standpoint is this the way that we've always played football. What you just saw on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts is what you should see in order for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be successful for the remaining of the 2025 campaign. Great defense, explosive defense, mixing up looks, going from giving them a 4-3 look at the snap and dropping to a 3-4 with cover 2 sitting behind them. That's the way the Steelers play football. I tried to explain this last week. I said, when the Steelers, can they switch from that 4-2-5 nickel press man and play a different style of defense and be successful? Everybody and their mama disagreed with me. Well, they just did it on Sunday. They just did it on Sunday. They gave you a 4-3 look, dropped to a 3-4 look after pre-snap read, and Jones didn't know what the hell was happening. He didn't know. Felicia said, I don't care what anymore. GP always does unnecessary. Yeah, he does. He's a crasher. Felicia, he's a crasher. That's true. That's right. Dwayne McNair, I appreciate you saying the facts. Take Boy Fresh says, why haven't they won time of possession not one time this year? That's not ball control. Tate, that's what they're trying to get to, is having ball control. I didn't say that they've done it successfully, but what they're trying to play is ball control football. If you notice from a trend standpoint, the Pittsburgh Steelers was the first team that went with the jumbo package offensive sets. I saw it across the NFL on Sunday. I saw the Arizona Cardinals destroy the Dallas Cowboys by going big set, bringing in extra offensive linemen, doing this and that. Ball control, keeping it away from the other team and playing explosive defense. But that's the way that the Steelers have always traditionally traded. Dwayne McNair says, Brian Thomas Jr. will be the odd man out. He might be, but don't look for him to get traded to the Steelers. Don't look for him to get traded to the Steelers. DeQuarles, I think he does. I think he's got impact in the vertical pass game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Van Der Scouting will. And Calvin Austin can too. They just didn't call it. Go back and watch the film. They didn't call it. Rodgers didn't audible to. He didn't force the ball vertically to DK. He didn't force the ball vertically to Calvin Austin III. He took what was available. Now, were there some big drops that killed the Steelers? Yes. That's why I'm telling you I'm done with Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith drops the ball more than he catches the ball. It's not playing well. Mood is showing that he can catch the ball. You got to continue to feature Darnell Washington as your number one tight end. He had some drops, but he can catch the ball and get a first down every freaking time, every single time. You have to run the ball. And oh, by the way, you YINZs, I watched the film. The offensive line played trash. I'm going to talk about it tonight over there on the Big Show. They was not good. The offensive line was not good in any shape, form, or fashion. Believe me, they was not good. Zach Frazier might have played his worst game he played as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Believe me. Jones did not play well. Believe me. And when Siamalu went out of the game and they had to put Spencer Anderson in at guard, that once again killed the ability of the Pittsburgh Steelers to run the ball. I've been saying all along, put McCollum in at guard, leave Spencer Anderson on the outside, go big package, because that's how you're able to possess the ball, have time of possession, and control the game, the pace of the game, as long as you catch like you're supposed to. What's up, Andre, man? Great to see you, man. DeQuarles, you're right. The drops are killing us. The drops are killing us, man. Killing us. We got to catch the freaking ball, right? Felicia says, all I know is Darnell Washington better not do the jet sweep. Lord help us. Yeah, don't, hell no. But I don't like the jet sweep as a play. Now, well, let me say this. I don't like the jet sweep as a play when you run to the short side of the field. The jet sweep to the short side doesn't work. To the wide side it does, but you have to sell a play action pass before you run it to the wide side. If you sell a play action off of it, then they'll respond. So yeah, it'll work, but a lot of folks don't like it. Okay, now, going back to what I said traditionally, right? What I said traditionally, the Steelers play tough man football on offense, try to control the time of possession. work to establish the running game, and play big-time defense. What we had not seen was the mixing up the defensive packages concerning the Steelers this year from the defense, which has always been what the Steelers have done. Going all the way back past Dick LeBeau, look at when the Steelers would get into a pinch from a historical standpoint, and look at what they would do. They would mix up the defense. This is the first time you saw Tomlin and Terrell Austin mix up the scheme concerning the defense this year. Like I said, there was plenty of snaps where 3 inside linebackers was on the field. But I want to point out to you that the 2 edges, normally when the 3 inside linebackers was on the field, they stood up. We're so used as Steelers to saying they're edges, they're edges. No, they're not. They're outside linebackers. OLB, right? So they had 5 linebackers on the field at the exact same time. You give them a 4-3 base look, you switch it to a 3-4 because somebody stands up and drops in coverage, i.e. Daniel Jones doesn't know what to do. The reason they did it for 2 reasons. They took away the running game in Taylor because now you have more guys that can run to the ball and tackle, and they took away the biggest weapon or the secret weapon for the Colts until it was garbage time, and that was Warren. They thought the Colts thought that Warren would be open in the inside seam or on the outside little comeback and curl route, and they didn't adjust till late in the second half. They didn't adjust because we adjusted for the first time in a long time. We saw success from the 3-4, 4-3 look, which you haven't seen from the Steelers, right? What Andre Green said, Big G, this offensive line had a bad game, yet the Steelers find a way to beat the Colts. You know why they did, Dre? 6 turnovers, big-time defense, forcing the ball. And why I'm talking about this, too, from a traditionalistic standpoint. You know what the Pittsburgh Steelers have traditionally always had? And you finally saw it this week? The defensive line, man. Harmon, Black, Hayward, and even Keanu Benton sometimes were able to get a push on the inside guards and tackles, the inside guard and center for the Indianapolis Colts. They pushed it. They pushed that middle, which in turn doesn't give time, which means that you can't assign or allot 1 or 2 guys to the outside to chip the linebackers all the time. It matters. It matters when you run our scheme that you get pushed from the middle. You have to get pushed from Hayward, from Harmon, from Black, from Benton. They got it this last game. They got it. They controlled the line of scrimmage. Felicia said, I do have confidence that we can beat the Chargers. It's going to still be a close game, scoring game. I agree, right? Take Boy Fresh said, I'd like to see some 5 linebackers with Herbig on the field for Harrison in passing situations. I'm not mad at that too. But if you give them a 4-3 look and then you drop to a 3-4, ain't that what I was talking about? Versus being out there in 4-2-5 nickel and you know what's coming. You know the inside seam route is open every single time. Don't believe me, go ask Jamar Chase. Go ask Jamar Chase how get the inside seam route. See, because you got to remember, when Daniel Jones went to pass it, he wasn't expecting no linebacker to be out there. Why do you think Peyton Wilson knocked that ball up in the air and Jack Sawyer intercepted it? Why do you think Peyton Wilson got his interception? He was the inside linebacker and dropped to the flat with the outside linebacker who stood straight up and didn't come on a rush and dropped in the flat. So they took away both routes. They took away the inside seam route. Oh, God. 4-3 giving a 3-4. Wonder where that came from. Not trying to take credit for it, but I just understand and know that you have to mix up the looks for the Pittsburgh Steelers because that's traditionally how we play football. Traditionally, we are Blitzburgh. Traditionally, you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know. And they had no clue where it was coming from. Believe me. The Steelers will get some help with Joe Alt being out for the Chargers. That's fact. The Chargers have lost actually both tackles, bro. Both still a dog, 88. They've lost both tackles. They're now without their 2 starting tackles for sure. Peyton Wilson, I agree with this 150% facts. Peyton Wilson played his best game simplified. It was, but the scheme did help him, but also because he moved from the outside to the inside. Peyton Wilson lined up outside the rush end when he got the tip pass for when Jack Sawyer got the interception. That's because they dropped to a 3-4 look. Go back and watch the film. They dropped to a 3-4, and they didn't know what the heck was going on. Trust me, Daniel Jones was out there confused, right? What's up, Peter, man? Peter said, maybe the relationship between Van Der Scouting and A-Rod will become relevant and make this signing more important than signing Mike Williams was last year. I think it is, because the fact of this, you don't have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields playing quarterback anymore. You have a capable quarterback, all pro, possibly even playing all pro level football, first ballot Hall of Famer, in Aaron Rodgers. I think that can make all the difference in the world. And listen, I'm not done with Calvin Austin III. Calvin Austin III can get vertical. Rome can. Rome just made a bonehead decision, and I hope it doesn't put him in the doghouse for the rest of the season. I just don't. I understand you just got to get down, man. You don't jump the play. You don't jump the pile trying to make a play. You just got to get down. And I hope this doesn't land him in the doghouse. I hope they understand and know this is a guy who's literally a rookie learning from his mistakes. And I don't think it will, because Rome, we've seen, after we saw that initial Rome sighting, now we're seeing Rome. Not as much as I want to, but I'm not the coach. I'm not the coach is. But Calvin Austin III, he ain't going nowhere. Calvin Austin III, he's going to play. DeQuero says, I think, he can be. Calvin Austin III can actually catch the ball. And why I'm talking about I'm done with Jonnu Smith, DK drops the ball a lot too, y'all. I'm just out there, just FYI. DK drops the ball a lot of times, right? So now, going back to what we've seen, and I'm saying this from a traditionalistic standpoint, right? What just baffles me is how our fan base is on again, off again with the Steelers. It just baffles me. We're on again, off again with the Steelers. We're on again, off again, right? And I get it, because we want to win. I get it. I understand it. You can't dog nobody that if their issue or their motivation is we want to win. But I think for the Steelers, it's how we win. How we win, right? And I want you guys to just get used to the fact of you're going to see us win or play football the way that we've played football in the past. How the Steelers have looked traditionally, right? Peter, I ain't mad at you. That's what I'm saying all along. DeQuero says, like our quarterback said, don't ride with the roller coaster. I agree. You know, you can be down on them because, listen, there's nothing wrong with pointing them out when they do bad, and nothing wrong with pointing out when they play bad. But also understanding that this thing has moving parts. Y'all gotta, for you guys that don't know, and maybe this is your first, second, third year being with the Steelers, this is the first year we've had any stability as far as an organization, because we actually have a quarterback that can play, and we have pieces that can actually play. We've lost players to injury and haven't had this stability and safety in God knows how long. Ramsey, don't move. Baby boy we got from New England, don't move. If Elliott comes back, we got one. We got a combination, man. Tay-Boy Fresh said, DK drawing coverage, Calvin Austin eats sometimes because of that. These fickle YINZ fans, I get it, Tate. I know it. Well, Felicia said, correct. She said, I'm not. I'm 100% Crash Out fan. I always have been. Felicia, I ain't mad at you, girl, because I crashed too. I didn't have my ski skirt on and my shiesty and been ready to get out with all this and this. And I've made statements, somebody's got to go. That's why I'm on this thing, and I'm telling you right now, playtime is over. Playtime is over with. This is the time of the year where you become who you're actually going to be as a team. And I'm telling you that the Steelers are going back to traditionally what we've been as a team. We have to run the ball. We have to be efficient in our pass game. Take opportunities to continue to get first downs. Work to get to the point to control time of possession and play mix-up, smash-mouth, Blitzburg defense with adjustments from the first to the second half. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you've been a Steeler fan longer than a minute, you understand and know that's how we play ball. That's where we're moving to. Now, do we get that every week? Hell no. Hell no, we don't get that every week. Some weeks, we get where the offensive line looks trash. Some weeks, we look with the offense, where the wide receiver crew looks garbage. Some weeks, the defensive line looks like hell. So, I get it. What Tay said, Big G, we're watching the Steelers together since Bubby. Hell, before Bubby Tay, I think we've been watching them before him. We've been watching the Steelers together for a long time. We know and understand what this is about. We know if you've been with the Steelers from the late 70s to the early 80s, you understand what this is about. This is how we play ball. This is how we play big boy ball, right? Motion pictures, what's cracking? There's no pass game in the playoffs with one wide receiver. Listen, I'm not mad at you for that. I get that. But guess what? You ain't got to win that way. You can win all different kind of ways. Teams have made it to Super Bowls and won Super Bowls strictly on defense. We've seen it happen. But we know how the Steelers play. We know how the Steelers play. And that's why I say the on again, off again, I get it. What it is, man, is that we want to be like the rest of the NFL. We want to be like the rest of the NFL. We want to be the Jamar Chase, the T. Higgins, the 480 yards passing by Joe Flacco. That's what we want to be. What a lot of the fans want to be. That ain't the Steelers, man. That ain't the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Dick Quarles said, does any of the selling teams have to have a good left tackle? No. You're not going to get a left tackle from nobody as of today. You might be able to get an inside guard. I mean, I've said all along I want Powers Johnson out of the Raiders, but who knows? They're probably not going to trade him. But I'd take him. And I still say that McCullum should be playing guard when Siamalu can't go, but that's just me, Tay said, what Tay say? Oh, I missed it. Tay say, wait until we put Tay, that is facts. We haven't played that game yet. We haven't played where our offense complemented our defense. We have not had one game this season where our offense and defense played together. We had a good offensive game and a good defensive game on the same day. We haven't had that. We had a hell of a defensive game. I'm telling you right now, the defense is going to get outstanding grades with me tonight on the big show. We played a hell of a defensive game. The offense was What difference does it make? Okay, so you know what this is about. That means we're going to the playoffs and losing by 21. I'm not saying we're going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying we'll be competitive in the playoffs. I'm saying we'll be competitive. Like, I don't have the mindset to believe that this team is ready to win a Super Bowl. I don't have that. And maybe that's me lowering my expectations, but it's just the truth of the matter. We're not ready. We're ready to compete in the playoffs, though. And I know this thing is that when you get in the playoffs and you can compete, anything can happen, right? I said, no, we don't. We want our GM to get a wide receiver and it not to take you and the whole presidential term to get one. Yeah, I get that. That people want a wide receiver too, but it's not happening. I keep trying to tell y'all. I don't disagree with this. MVS is Mike Williams. Yes, it is. We're not going to go get one. What is it? T-minus, what is it now? It's 12:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got 3 hours and 30 minutes. It ain't happening. And if it does, it'll be one of the biggest splashes in Pittsburgh Steelers history. If I'm telling you right now, as of today, if the Pittsburgh Steelers go and get a wide receiver in the next 3 hours and 30 minutes, it'll be one of the biggest splashes in Pittsburgh Steelers history. That's how big this thing will be. It'll be that big. You're going to get a guy like a Thomas out of Jacksonville, maybe a Chris Olave, maybe a Jalen Waddle, if they go get a guy. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to wait to see, and they're going to use what we got, right? Dwayne says, I've been there when Bubby Bristol was there, and we here, and they will appreciate this. That's facts. Bubby Bristol was big trash. We struggled. We was in the struggle bus forever. with Bubby Brister playing quarterback, right? Felicia said, she said, if Vegas script has us in the Super Bowl, then then we are going. Godell said football is entertainment anyway. Well, we'll see. I ain't buying what Vegas is selling, Felicia. I ain't putting that down. No way. He said, Meyer is out. Let's go grab Waddle. I mean, I feel you. I feel you. But if it happens in the next 3 hours and 30 minutes, or counting down less, it'll be one of the biggest trades in Pittsburgh Steelers history. One of the biggest trades in Steelers history, because you're going to get a guy like a Thomas from Jacksonville, like a Waddle from Miami, like a Olave from New Orleans. That's what you're going to get if the Steelers do trade. But I don't believe it's happening. I don't believe it's happening. I've been saying it all along. And that's going back to what I've been saying traditionally. The Steelers don't do that. That's not what we do. We don't do that. Sometimes you can want to be like other teams and not realize what you have as a Steeler. We're not that. We're not the trash Cincinnati Bengals with all the explosive wide receivers paying all the money for them. How's that working out for them? I'm just saying. Hell, let's talk about the Commanders. What we're gonna get a Debo, and we're gonna get a Terry McLaurin, and we're gonna surround him with Jaden Daniels and blah blah. They couldn't run the ball. Now Jaden Daniels is on the shelf. Now Terry McLaurin's on the shelf. Now Debo don't look like he gonna make it through the season. I mean, what? That is not us. That's not us. That's not us. Traditional smash mouth, run the football, control time of possession. Don't make mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. Get vertical when we have to. Play big time defense. Make adjustments on defense so where the opposing team is confused and they don't know what the hell is going on. And we don't sit out there in no 4-2-5 big trash nickel like my boy Kirby always be talking about. Super trash nickel. Super trash, it don't work. Play a 4-3-3-4 and switch it up. They didn't know what the hell to do. The Colts didn't get hardly no yards till it was garbage time. They didn't know what the hell to do. They didn't know. Take away the first drive, they didn't do nothing for 3 quarters because they switched it up on them. They played different. What you said? When the Steelers pass game starts to slow down, I don't want to hear anyone saying anything about it. Well, we should have got a guy. You're going to hear that anyway, and that's what I mean by the diabolical YINZs. You're going to hear that anyway. You're going to complain about what we are. We're going to complain about what we are, right? We're not getting Waddle, bro. Stop it. I didn't say we was going to get Waddle. I said we wasn't going to get nobody. We wasn't going to get nobody. I've been saying it all along. We ain't going to get nobody. But if they do it in the next 3.5 hours, that's what's going to happen. If it does happen, if I'm wrong, which I've known to been wrong, if I'm wrong and they do go get a player, they're going to go get Waddle, they're going to get Olave, or they're going to get Thomas out of Jacksonville. But I don't think they do nothing. We're going to stay put right where we at, right? Because we play the way we play. Felicia, what you said, girl? Tomlin was asked if we make a trade, and he said we have 2 hours, so we'll see. I agree. We'll see. We'll see. They ain't trying to give up no draft capital, i.e. another way about being a traditionalist Steelers. When's the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers had 12 draft picks going into a draft? When was the last time? We're going to make every last one of these jokers count. Unless we get one of those super splashers that I named off of. Gene, what's cracking, man? He said, yeah, Felicia, per his press conference, we appear to be looking at someone. Maybe. We'll see. Well, I'll believe it when I see it because I know the Steelers. I've been around like Tay Boy Fresh. We've been around since Terry Bradshaw and Bubby Brister. We've been watching them. We know what they do. We know what we do as an organization. Don't get your hopes up, Steelers. Matter of fact, I'm saying this as I close out the show. Embrace what we are, YINZs. We are the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is how we play football. This is how we play. We're gonna play smash mouth, big time football. Smash mouth, big time football. Get the tight ends going. Get the running game going. Get some blocking going on in the offense and make some beat defensive plays and switch up that defense. That's how we play football, man. DeQuarl said, yeah, they're going to draft a wide receiver high. If they don't trade for one, they're going to draft one. You better believe it. That's why they holding on all them damn picks. They trying to go get one. They didn't identify the guy that they like, right? Tay said, press conference facts. See how Debo in the fifth. They ain't doing that neither. Wait, I mean, I understand that the Steelers, I understand the level of frustration, but they ain't doing it. I'm telling you, they ain't doing it. Don't get your hopes up. There's no reason to be frustrated. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is how we play. She said, if the Steelers get someone, it'll be on defense. Felicia, how long I've been saying that? Didn't I told you we was going to go get a safety? We might go get a defensive tackle. I promise you. I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers getting a defensive tackle. I could see it happening. I could see it happening all day and night, right? Pete, man, defense and run the ball wins championships. Facts. That's big facts, Pete. That's how you play big boy ball. We play big boy ball in Pittsburgh, bro. We ain't the flashy, get the Joe Flacco out of here. Get that big flashy mess out of here, bro. We play big boy ball in Pittsburgh, man. We play big boy ball. Ray, what's cracking, man? Good to see you in the live chat, man. Ray said, man, the first to say, I'm with them bad and good. Don't matter if the Steelers nation for life, baby boy. That's what I'm talking about, Ray. Yeah, for life. We down by life. For life, bro. We gets it in. What's up, Afton? Good to see you this afternoon. G Stacks, man. What's cracking? He said, Buda Baker on the back end with, we ain't gonna get no Buda Bakers. He ain't gonna get no Buda Bakers. No, we got to say Elliott's gonna come back cool. Peppers is gonna come back cool. We cool back there. Digger, leave Jalen Ramsey sit back there. We good. Now I can see us maybe getting a corner. I can maybe see trading for a corner. I can see that. I can see a defensive tackle. I can see a corner. But the big splash receiver, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, now the Quarrels, you done made sense. Woolen from Seattle? Oh, my God. I'll take him right now. But that's leading into the traditional Steelers, bro. That's big boy ball. That's Woolen is a dog. He's a cracker. He'll hit you, boy. He'll knock you out. That's big boy ball. That's in line with the trajectory of how we play football for Pittsburgh, man. Yeah, DeMontre Jones, that was the trade they needed. They needed an edge, bro. They needed that. And they did. They traded it from the Tennessee Titans. They got what they needed. They good, right? Tay, I've heard that rumor. I've heard that Asante Samuels is actually tied to the Pittsburgh Steelers because the guy that did the operation is tied to the Steelers, and I've heard that the Steelers have been continuing to evaluate him. I know that he's been medically cleared and able to sign with any NFL team. So I could see Asante Samuel being a Pittsburgh Steelers, and which would be great for us. It would help us in the corner rotation, which we currently have, especially if we're going to leave Jalen Ramsey at safety. Absolutely. Good, big facts. Asante Samuel would work for us. Absolutely. Right? G-Stack said, yeah, he's been cleared, and he's a free agent. So I could see it. I could see the Steelers doing that on the defensive side of the ball because that's how we get down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, y'all listen. Like I said, don't be out there. What's up, Steeler girl? What's happening? Who is this? A new person I ain't never seen. M Hot EP19. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you rocking with us over here in the KnoItAllz, man. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome. Steelers girl, what's going on, man? What's happening? Steelers girl, what's going on? But yeah, as I'm saying, man, embrace us from a historical standpoint, YINZs. We ain't the Cincinnati Bengals. We ain't the flare 'em up Kansas City Chiefs. We ain't all that stuff. We big boy ball. We the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I'm going to continue to say over and over and over again, on every podcast you see me, on every place you see me around, I'm telling you, we playing to play big time football. We playing to win because Playtime's over with, boy.
Playtime's over, boy.
We gonna play big boy, big time Pittsburgh Steelers football. Hey, man, y'all, thanks for rocking with me at another noontime edition of Keeping It 100. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Man, we do all kind of know-it-alls content all day, every day. Tomorrow evening, me and my boy Tate Boy Fresh, along with the diabolical Kirby and his trash self, will be watching Smash the Gas, doing what we do over there. Kirby telling me, Dan the nickel, and let's get that big nickel out of here. We playing 3-4, 4-3, mixing it up and giving them a different look, Kirby. Get your mind right. JPJ, he ain't a corner. Get up out of here, Kirby. And I swear to God, I'm throwing him out of the car tomorrow if he gets to tripping. Tate, you already done heard me say, so buckle up. And then we'll be back with PYB, Pump Your Brakes with the Triple OG Shannon. We're going to talk a little bit more about some historical content of what's going to go on this week, you know, and what's going to lead us to victory. How we gonna get it in? We also do the 2-minute warning, which is a Steelers-centric show over here. Tate Boy Fresh is gonna do his Tate Take tomorrow. You know, so you'll see that. Him talking about countdown to the victory, countdown to preview. Tate's Take tomorrow to talk about what's going on with the Steelers and from a coaching standpoint. And by the way, everybody but Arthur Smith gets a big A this week for the coaching for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Outstanding job, Pittsburgh Steelers. Defense, Terrell Austin. Defense, Mike Tomlin. Outstanding job. We appreciate you. Listen, y'all, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Do whatever you do. I'll be on the big show tonight with my boy Big B. We going to get it in tonight. We going to get it in because it's not just a Victory Monday. It's a Victory Tuesday. We celebrating all week till we go to Los Angeles and get on the plane. Let's go, Steelers Nation. We will holler at y'all tomorrow, like tonight and or tomorrow. As for Big G, the know-it-all, we'll see y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.